Hello friends and welcome to another session of English literature. So friends, today's topic of discussion is Ode to Nightingale by John Keats. So in this session, I'm going to discuss 3 questions and its answers from Ode to Nightingale. So watch the video till the end. This video will be very helpful for you. Here you go. So our first question is, why does Keats call the nightingale immortal bird? So this question is very important. It's very important for your exam. So here the phrase immortal bird sounds like a paradox because a nightingale's actual lifespan is much smaller than that of a human being. So to follow the realistic logic, it is absurd to accept that the particular bird means the nightingale is deathless and going on singing for centuries. So because in reality no one is immortal, right? Everyone is mortal, every species is mortal. So how can nightingale be immortal? So now the question arises that as a poet, why John Keats used this type of word to describe nightingale. So critics have tried to explain the immortality of the bird, means the nightingale, in various ways. W.J. Bates says that the immortality is that of the species. So here W.J. Bates wants to say that Keats wants to convey the idea that the bird, the particular bird, means one bird is not immortal, but the species is immortal because, and thus after one by one the species, the nightingale species, will live forever in this world. So in that sense John Keats used the word immortality. So the particular bird will die but the succeeding species of the bird will sing continuously. This idea may be supported by few lines of the poem, as John Keats puts in line 63 to 66 that the voice I hear this passing night was heard in ancient days by emperor and clown, perhaps the self-same song that found a path through the sad heart of Ruth. Washerman again argues that the nightingale is immortal because it is a symbolic bird which has risen out of immortality. So here in the poem, in line 7, the nightingale is also called light-winged draught. So the immortality of the nightingale is related to the central theme of the poem, the contrast between the transitory mortal life of man and the eternal life of the nightingale. So this was the answer of the first question. Now we have our second question, which is, was it a vision or a waking dream? What creates the speaker's confusion? So the Song of Nightingale widens the imagination of the poet John Keats. On the wings of poetic imagination, he flies, means Keats flies to the realm of forgetfulness. He escapes from the mundane world or the transitory world to the world of eternal glory, to the world of immortality. So the romantic world of Nightingale, which is a haven of joy, free from the weariness, fever and fret. It is taken from line number 23 of Ode to a Nightingale. So here in this poem, as the poet imagines that he flies from the eternal world to the world of romance or to the world of imagination, but the spell of imagination is soon broken as the bird flies away. The haven of joy and beauty vanishes and the poet finds himself back in the realities of life. So friends, by listening the Nightingale song, John Keats imagines that he lives in an imaginary world, a romantic world. But the haven of joy and beauty vanishes when the poet comes back from the company of the bird to reality. He is in quandary and fails to understand his state at present. His experience of unearthly beauty, so far enjoyed by him, now appears to him unreal. So the poet now asks himself whether the song of the nightingale was real and whether he was really listening to it or whether he had been fancying or daydreaming. So he finds that the nightingale song gives rise to an illusion. So thus the line which we find in the question, that was it a vision or a waking dream, clearly shows that Keats's escapism is always a passing mood. He knows that an escape is neither possible nor desirable because fancy cannot cheat so well as we believe. So he realizes that he is not in the bower of the nightingale but in the real world with his feet on ground. Friends, one important thing, you can also use this portion as an answer for the question that describe John Keats as an escapist or escapism in John Keats's poetry. So after this we have our third question and last question, which is, why does the poet crave for a draught of vintage? Why does he later wish to rely on the viewless wings of poesy? So by listening the song of the nightingale, the poet's heart becomes aching. His senses are dulled owing to the participation in the happiness of the bird. So the poet longs to lose himself into the happy spirit of the bird and leave the world which is full of the weariness, the fever and the fret, unseen, and fade away into the dim forest. He proposes to do so with a draught of vintage, which has been cooled down for a long time in the associations of Provencal song. So friends, Provence is the name of a region in south of France. It is famous for its delicious wine and its song and dance. So the poet here wants vintage, means wine, because it is said that when one drinks wine or vintage, then the person's senses become dulled. So as Keats's personal life is full of tragedies, full of sorrows, so he here wants to drink a draught of vintage so that he can escape from the hard realities of life. So here Keats also longs for a beaker full of warm south. Warm south means the wine of the southern region of France. Thus the poet craves for the draught of vintage Provencal song and warm south as the means to escape into the romantic beechen bower of the nightingale, from where it sings spontaneously. So this was the answer of the last question, and with this we ended up our discussion for today's session. I hope that this video will help you to write answers in your exam. Friends, one more thing, if you want to know about the summary of Ode to a Nightingale, then please check out the description box. I will provide the link below. So friends, thank you so much for watching this video, and if you find this video helpful, then please like this video, share this video, comment on this video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So bye bye and see you in the next session very soon.